While browsing through Facebook one day in 2016, Janice Rosenthal was shocked to see a story about a puppy in Thailand who had been maimed and lost his front legs. It just so happened that Rosenthal was a supporter of and donor to Soi Dog Foundation, a charitable animal welfare organization in Phuket, Thailand. Rosenthal quickly emailed John Dalley, president and co-founder of Soi Dog, to ask if he could help. It was around the same time that Watchdog Thailand, an animal welfare enforcement organization, reached out to Dalley after being contacted about the same case. Watchdog Thailand rushed into action, taking the dog to a local vet, but they were ill-equipped for the emergency. That's when Soi Dog stepped in, arranging for the puppy, named Kola, to be flown to an advanced veterinary clinic in Bangkok. Kola's front legs had to be removed. They saved his life, Dalley said, adding that Kola was in very critical condition and had a lot of blood loss when first picked up. One of the vets had a degree in engineering and had made prosthetics for dogs, and agreed to make them for Kola. Dalley visited Kola at the clinic about a month after the incident. They opened the door, and as soon as I put my hand in to stroke him, his tail wagged, he said. His wife Gil, co-founder of Soi Dog, met Kola when the vet was fitting Kola's prosthetics. Kola ran up to Gil when she first walked in. They were both double amputees, and that seemed to be an added connection. Gil sat on the floor with him, and they really gelled, Dalley said. It was love at first sight. The Dalleys planned to bring him to Phuket. They adopted Kola as one of their own, so he never went into the Soi Dog shelter. That shelter became an important part of what the Dalleys worked so hard to build since retiring to Thailand from the UK in 2003. They married there in 1996 and decided to make it their home. But stray dogs were everywhere, and they wanted to do something to help. Soi Dog initially began in 2002 under Market Park, a Dutch expatriate who started helping the stray dogs in her neighborhood in Bangkok. She gathered and brought dogs to her local vet to have them sterilized. She moved to Phuket in 2003 around the same time as the Dalleys, where they joined forces. In 2004, Gil ran after a tranquilized dog who bolted into a flooded field. Fearing the dog would ultimately drown, she waded in to save him. 3 days later, Gil started to feel very sick. At first, she thought it was the flu. Soon she had pain in her legs that was unbearable. I literally watched as her legs turned from skin color to gray, Dalley said. While Gil waited in that field, a rare bacterium entered her skin and she contracted septicemia. She was admitted to the hospital and after 4 days was flown to Bangkok, spending about a month in intensive care, in and out of a coma. Dalley was told his wife had a 1 in 10 chance of surviving, but she made it, after losing both legs. Gil returned home in a wheelchair. 4 days later, the Indian Ocean tsunami hit, which killed thousands including Gil's best friend, a dedicated Soi Dog volunteer. Even in her wheelchair, Gil was of service helping people search for relatives and counseling them. She soon went back to helping dogs, many of whom were displaced due to the disaster. Soi Dog held mobile clinics where volunteer vets and nurses helped round the clock. Soi Dog was put on the map after the tsunami. A larger international organization wanted to help and was looking for groups to become member societies. They gave us a 2-year recovery grant that enabled us to employ 2 full-time vets and a team of dog catchers so we could expand, Dalley said. Soon the Dalleys and Park went their separate ways, and the Dalleys continued on with Soi Dog, expanding its mission. All of this work is what helped save Kola's life. When his original prosthetics were uncomfortable, it was as if fate had brought the Dalleys to help him. They ended up working with Bengt Soderberg, who was Gil's prosthetist. Soderberg fell in love with Kola and designed the dog's new prosthetics, including his most recent set made with carbon fiber blades. Kola took to his prosthetics pretty quickly. It's amazing how adaptable dogs are, Dalley said. When Gil got her prosthetics, she was using parallel bars and then these 3-pronged walking sticks. It took a lot of time. Once Kola had them on, he was going through the motion of walking. He was literally trotting instantly. Gil passed away from cancer in February 2017 and spent the last year of her life designing and building a vet hospital dedicated to the stray dogs. She built that and expanded the runs, Dalley said. We either have resident or in treatment more than 1,000 dogs and cats. The number of sterilizations increased. We now have 6 mobile teams. Last month we passed 250,000 animals sterilized, and we are now sterilizing more than 8,000 a month.